Hey, what's up guys? So Viofo has just released their A329S and A329T dash cams. And honestly, I'm really excited about these. I'm going to be installing them in both of my cars as my new primary dash cams. And I'm going to be upgrading from the A229 Pro in one car and the original A329 in the other car to these new updated A329 models. And in this video, let's just go ahead and go over what these dash cams are all about and what the new features are. In fact, this is going to be the first of a multi-part video series where I'm going to spend time testing out all the new features and capabilities here in these new dash cams. Additionally, down in the video description, I'm going to have links to the different variants here of these updated A329s. There's actually a lot of different versions here of these dash cams, and so in this video, we're also going to go over what all the different combinations are of these updated A329 dash cams. Now to start things off, in order to better understand the updated A329 series of Viofos dash cams, let's take a look at the evolution of their flagship 4K models. And to start things off, we'll begin here first with the A129 Pro. I really liked this dash cam back in the day. It recorded at 4K up front, 1080p in the rear, and had an LCD on the screen right there. That said, when they released the A139 Pro, this was actually a huge update, and I really like this one as well. This was actually the first dash cam that offered the Sony Starvis 2 IMX678. That's their 4K Starvis 2 sensor. And it had a number of nice improvements. So first off, for example, the low light performance was way better here with the new sensor. Additionally, they made the rear cam much smaller here like this, much more compact. The previous model used a thicker USB cable, which was harder to run in the car, and so they used much thinner cables here. Plus, they also added the option for a third cabin camera as well to give you a full 3-channel configuration if you like. Now, you can also notice that they dropped the LCD screen here on the back with this one, which is something that they re-added to the A229 Pro. And personally, I found this LCD to be really helpful. They've also made some other improvements as well. So for example, the rear cam is now gonna jump from 1080p to 2K. You can see right here, full HD here for these two add-on cameras, whereas the A229 Pro, Quad HD or 2K here for the rear cam. Additionally, the low light performance is improved here, especially if you're driving on dark roads with a polarizer installed. And with this one, you can now run at 4K and 30 FPS with a full 3-channel configuration, as opposed to this model, which would drop the resolution or frame rate if you want to record with 3 channels. Now, this is a dash cam that's kind of been like my main go-to dash cam for quite a while. They also offered some options like add-on telephoto dash cams, but I wasn't a huge fan of the implementation here on this model because of the fact that, well, it actually has to replace the rear cam, and I find the rear cam to be much more useful than a second front-facing camera. Now, after that, they switched over to the original A329. This offered a faster processor, which offered even better video quality. It also allowed them to jump to 4K and 60 FPS for double the frame rate. Wi-Fi was sped up here to Wi-Fi 6 for faster transfer rates. And it also supports SSDs, or solid-state drives, so if you want external video recording for even more space, you now have that option. However, this one maxes out at just 2 channels instead of 3 like the previous models here like that, and this was actually a big downside compared to the originals. And so for that reason, with these updated models, as you can see, now we have the option to do 3-channel configurations. And to get the 3rd channel, they've actually replaced the HDMI port here on the side of the dash cam if you wanted like an external display or something. So we do lose that capability, but honestly, I think it's totally worth it to go for the additional 3rd channel. And with these new models, there's actually a bunch of new different 3rd channel combinations. You've got interior fisheye cameras like this, as opposed to kind of like the regular interior cameras here on that model for a wider field of view. Or you can do like a telephoto camera here. They offer options with waterproof cameras on the outside if you prefer. Additionally, we've got another resolution bump. So both of these cameras are now going to be at 2K, as opposed to the A229 Pro, which was 2K and 1080p. The cabin camera was 1080p, the rear was 2K, which was a nice jump over 1080p there for the rear cam. But again, now here with both of these models, they're going to be recording at 2K. We've also got features like multiplexer support, which is going to make it easier to combine all these different camera angles. And they've also added a new low power parking recording mode, which is going to give you much longer term parking recording than any of Viofos' previous models. Next, let's take a look at all of the different add-on cameras available here for this updated A329 line. Now, you can buy the dash cam with the front-only dash cam if you like, or you can buy it with the 4K front and 2K rear dash cam, where the rear dash cam goes on the back window. This is pretty standard, of course, but if you want to add something beyond that, well, you can do something like the A329S 3-channel. This is going to give you an interior cabin cam. It's a 2K cabin cam, and what's different about this is it's actually going to be a wider fisheye lens, which can be helpful not only when you're driving in case maybe you get T-boned, but also while you're parked in case somebody next to you actually opens their door and causes a door ding on your vehicle. With the A329T lineup, the T stands for telephoto, and it's basically going to offer another camera with a 4x zoom, which is going to do a much better job of zooming in to capture details up ahead, such as license plates. 4K dash cam is kind of some of the best you can get with just a standard traditional wide-angle lens. It's designed to kind of capture everything around you, but the telephoto is really going to be specialized to help you capture those important details, which in many times you might actually miss from a traditional camera. Now on the A229 Pro, a telephoto was actually available as an optional extra, but I never really liked it because of the fact that you actually had to plug it in place of the rear camera. And so for that reason, you would have two front-facing cameras, but nothing back behind. And personally, I find the rear camera to be much more important than having a second camera pointing up ahead. And the A329T actually solves this with giving you the ability to do front and rear if you like, plus the optional third telephoto facing forward. Viofo also offers some waterproof exterior cameras as well. So if you want to install it on like a truck or a convertible or something where your interior mounting options are going to be kind of limited, you can install one of their exterior 2K waterproof cameras. And understanding all this is going to make it much easier to, well, understand the naming conventions of all of the different combinations here of these dash cams. For example, you can do the A329S 2-channel, which is going to give you a standard front and rear dash cam. Or you can do the A329T 2-channel, which is going to give you two front-facing dash cams, one regular and one telephoto, hence the T in the name. Or you can do something like the A329SW 2-channel, which is going to give you a waterproof exterior rear camera. Then diving into their 3-channel options, the naming conventions are going to be pretty similar. We've got the A329S 3-channel, which is going to be front, rear, and interior cabin. You've got the A329T 3-channel for front, rear, and front telephoto. And then you can also play around with different configurations, adding a third waterproof exterior camera as well. For example, you've got the A329SW, which is going to be front, rear waterproof, and interior cabin. You've got the A329TW 3-channel, so telephoto up front and waterproof rear. And then finally, you've also got the A329WW, which is going to offer you two exterior waterproof cameras, which can be helpful for trucks and trailers, for example. And down in the video description, I'm going to link to all of these different models. I know it's kind of confusing, but that's the general idea here as far as the naming scheme. It's also worth noting that there's going to be different firmware versions for these different A329S, T, or WW models, so pay attention to that when you're ready to upgrade the dash cams. Now, when it comes to combining all these different camera angles, you can of course have it function like any traditional camera where it makes separate individual video files for all of the 1, 2, or 3 different cameras that you've got installed. Now what's cool though is there's a new feature here called the Multiplexer feature, which is going to allow you to combine these different video channels into one larger video clip, which will make it much easier to view everything at once or share things afterwards. Now, this was a feature that was available from ThinkWare's dash cams before, but you actually had to buy a special multiplexer box for all of the different dash cams to plug into. And with the multiplexer box, you could actually have up to 5 channels recording at once, unlike the Viofo here with a 3-channel max setup. However, running a 2 to 3 channel setup is going to be the most common, and I love the fact that now you can do the multiplexing capability here without having to buy add-on hardware and just have it built directly into the dash cam itself. I think this is actually pretty awesome. And in the multiplexer testing video, I'll go over what all this stuff looks like in practice, the different camera combinations, and if there's any video quality changes if you're running multiplexed compared to running all the different dash cam angles independently. And speaking of future testing videos, I also definitely want to test out the new low power parking recording capability, which is a feature that I've actually really been looking forward to here from these Viofos. This way, if you've got your car parked for not just like a day or something, but maybe a week or multiple weeks at a time, you can actually have the dash cam continue to record everything while parked, even when you've got your car parked for an extended period of time. This is something that I've really been wanting when I go on a trip, for example, and I've got the car parked at the airport. And in the past, if I've wanted longer parking recording, I would actually grab a ThinkWare dash cam and put it in the car as well next to my other dash cams just to get this low power long-term parking recording. But it's finally available here on a Viofo as well. And it basically functions as like an impact detection recording, where the dash cam is typically going to be asleep, and if it detects an impact, it's actually going to wake up and start recording after about 2 seconds or so. It's not buffered recording. It's not going to record before the impact the way you would get with your traditional auto event detection. You do still have that capability, but this is going to basically put the dash cam to sleep to save power and then wake it up as needed to record while you're gone. Additionally, if you want kind of the best of both worlds, there's also a new hybrid parking recording option, which is going to allow you to record at first with one of the traditional parking recording modes, whether it's your buffered motion detection and impact detection or time lapse or low bitrate or something. And then after a period of time, you can actually switch over to the low power parking recording mode. Alternatively, when Viofo releases their upgraded HK6 hardwire parking cable, that's also going to allow the dash cam to switch after the voltage drops below a certain level. So you can have it record normally at first, and then as the voltage drops pretty low, instead of just turning off the dash cam and getting no recording, well, you can switch over to get the low power parking recording and still actually get something for much, much longer than just having your dash cam shut off altogether when the voltage drops too low. And in future videos, I'm going to test out all this kind of stuff and take a look at record times and power draw and all that kind of stuff. We'll take a look at all the new video features, the parking recording features, etc. And so while this video has been kind of like a higher level overview of the different dash cams, in the follow-up videos, we're going to go ahead and start diving in and testing out all of these new models. And so again, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay up to date here as far as all the new testing. And if you want to purchase any of these dash cams, I'll link to all of them, telephoto, cabin, waterproof, all that kind of stuff down in the video description as well. And so with that said, thanks so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to getting these stuff unboxed and installed and tested, and so let's do this. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.